Is this the look we have voted for? I don't know. I look like a dude in the waiting line for the 1984 castings and didn't even make it to the judges. I love it. It's a mood. It's beautiful. So, American Horror Story. I think we can all agree that it's a thing. It really is one of my favorite shows. Do I want to be best friends with Sarah Paulson? Absolutely. Do I think season 8 or Lady Gaga or both of them destroyed the show? Absolutely not. Is this cup already empty because I couldn't wait till the video starts? How will you ever know? Today I want to talk about 9 things that keep American Horror Story from reaching its full potential. It's those things that make me believe Dark is my favorite show and not this one. So put on your PJ, take a cup of tea, make sure you don't drink it before the video starts, and listen to what I have to say, because otherwise you didn't click this video, did you? Oh, one last thing. I'm talking about imperfect. Imperfect, okay, is a different thing than bad. I'm not saying the show is bad in any way. I'm just saying it could be perfect and it's not. Okay, cool, thank you. Let's go on. I think the connection between the seasons is a little bit lost. We've got people who are called the same. Montgomery is a name that you hear very often throughout the series. And now we got the obvious stuff, which is season 8. What I don't like about it is not every season has a connection to the other ones. First of all, this decision to make the worlds interconnected came pretty late in the show. As far as I remember, it's the 4th season that we first see such a connection between season 4 and 2. After it went crazy, the 5th season we got Queenie from season 3 and Billie Dean Howard from season 1. Season 6 has, I think, the first Supreme, which is a connection to season 3. Season 7 got Twisty the Clown, briefly mentioned in the comic book, and then season 8 goes wild. And then season 9, I cannot remember any connection. What the f? So we got this 8th season, which almost feels like a finale, because it's so, it connects so many seasons, and then we got like 9, where nothing happens at all. It just looks like the way to the finale has been laid out. And now they decided not to make season 9 a final season. It would have been perfect. 9 seasons. Okay. And that's where we come to point 2. You literally f***ed up the 9 Circles of Hell simile. I just think it's kind of sad. I mean, now we got 13 seasons planned, as far as I know, which is kind of cool as well. But yeah, I mean, 9 seasons would have been cool. And also, looking at point number 1, it would have been a little bit more round, especially with fucking season 8 being a major crossover with like everything. Wow, I ran out of battery! Children of the Night. Literally, it's 1 a.m. If this camera position is a different one than before, I don't care. I filled this cup with water. Drink responsibly. Drink responsibly. Where was I have no idea. Yeah, Roanoke. It's a thing. Throughout the show, we got very clear topics for each season. A spooky murder house, exorcism in season 2, witchcraft, a freak show, a hotel, and then there's like Roanoke. What I loved about the topics of American Horror Story was that they were pretty much cliche. You know what I mean? If you tell a creepy story, it's usually set in those places or it got something to do with that. But Roanoke, have you ever told a story about Roanoke to creep out other people? Have you? I doubt that, okay? I doubt that. I don't understand the pure 100% hate of it, because I love this reality thing they did. Pretty cool. But it doesn't fit to the show, and that's where we come to our next point. I'm the master of transitions, bitch. The direction style changed after Roanoke. Why? Why? I don't see the point. Yes, okay, you can evolve in your direction style, but does it have to be in one artwork? You know what I mean? Why? Why? Why don't you make a new show which has this feeling? I mean, Ryan Murphy has done so many great shows. I made a video about Hollywood, which is great, but why do you have to change the fucking director style in the show? It doesn't make sense to me. It's just inconsistent. And I really have to say I highly prefer the visual noise you can see in the first 4 seasons, which is gone after Roanoke. Oh, did I say 4? I mean first 5 seasons. That's that. Jessica Lange. I think that point is clear. She just left a hole. It's just not the same without Mrs. Lange. I'm sorry to say, Sarah Paulson, I love you too, but I'm sorry. film. Just her acting. Oh my god, how can you act that well? And I really loved her German as well. Meine schönen kleinen. Such an amazing actress. Okay, done with it. Sarah Paulson and Evan Peters, you rock as well. So now to the story writing. There is a lot of weird shit going on in American Horror Story. I mean, they got these flashbacks, and sometimes they really make sense. Just like the Axeman, you know what I mean, who is a major part of the story. But other times I'm like, okay, what are you trying to do with this? Where's the point in including this? What's his mission? What's his mission? Especially season 8. Although I just loved the fan service they did. It was incredible. The story didn't make too much sense overall. No, literally, it looked like they just came up with this stuff that came later on in the season after they came up with the bunker stuff. But that doesn't make sense because the stuff we saw in the beginning of the show is based on the stuff that comes later, which means they came up with all of these things at the same time, which is scary. Furthermore, some cool stuff gets dropped where I'm like, okay, you could have just, you know, talked a little bit more about this topic that I'm interested in instead of introducing characters that I have never seen before that lived 100 years ago and I don't care about. Like, but that's a minor point. I think the story works fine. Last and least, now we come to the points that, like, they piss me off. Like, they just, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. The first thing would be the inconsistencies with the opening titles. When I watched American Horror Story Season 1 for the first time, I fell in love with this intro. I was like, this is the best intro ever made. I still do have this opinion, by the way. Then the second season is based on that f***ing first intro, and I was like, okay, cool. They modify it a little bit. Then the third season came along, and it was the same thing. It was just a modified first and second intro. And then
freak show happened.
Why? You know, I think it's so inconsistent. If you wanted to be free with it, it's okay. But then please make every season a different intro and don't make the first 3 seasons nearly the same intro. I would have loved it if they had decided to make every season like the first 3 seasons. This music is beautiful. The sounds are universal horror. It would have made sense to me to keep this intro throughout the entire show. And finally, the last inconsistency that keeps the show from being perfect. The cast is a f***ing mess. Especially f***ing season number 9. Where is Evan Peters? Where is Sarah Paulson? What the f***? You made it! You finally made it! No actor is in every season. Thank you. I mean, both of the main actors who have been in every single season are not in the 9th season. Why? Because, you know, I understand that it's hard to get every single actor in every single season, but I can't imagine that it is this hard, and I also can't imagine that they are fighting for it too much. Other shows don't have this concept of one story per season. Other shows manage to have their actors throughout a lot of seasons. I just would have been happy and glad about a main core cast of 8 people. Even 5 would have been okay. 5 people who are in every single season, that would have been cool. But no one's in every single season now. So as you can see, these things that are called problems are very, very tiny, but sometimes the tiniest things make the most impact. That was cheesy. So what are your opinions on American Horror Story? Do you have opinions? Have you watched it yet? If you haven't watched it yet, do so. It's a great show after all. Oh my god. I have to be careful with this water. Drink responsibly. So what's your favorite season of American Horror Story? Oh, great, mine as well. My song recommendation for you is Look Up at the Stars by Shawn Mendes. Finally, an innovative and experimental Shawn Mendes song. Every time I hear it, my heart melts. And these guitars in the end remind me of ABBA. It's just, this song figured it out. You know, you get that when you listen to songs that figure it out. This is one of them. Goodbye. I just realized that I didn't greet you. Sup, it's Toby, hope you're doing well, and welcome to The End Card. I'm the worst TV show host ever.
Subscribe.